welcome back to Space for Edit. On this channel we talk about all the things that they don't teach you in design school but you need to know in the real world. And in today's video I wanted to look back at Clerkenwell Design Week that I went to now a couple of weeks ago. I know if you follow me on Instagram you're probably already sick hearing about it and watching the videos and snippets and whatnot, but this is different. This video is going to be different. Originally, I thought I'm going to do like a little vlog situation, take you along with me, you know, day in the life kind of thing. But after actually doing the whole 2 days and experiencing everything and reflecting back on it, I thought that it would actually be useful to create a video that shares some tips and some insights, maybe to those who are going to a design event for the first time. Because for me, I've never been to Clerkenwell Design Week and it has been going on for years, and I lived in the UK for around 11 years now. So it was about time. I had this newfound freedom of freelance interior design world. So I thought, right, let's pack our bag, get down there, see what's going on, a little solo trip, why not? So just to let you know that everything that we talk about in this video can be applied to other exhibitions as well. When you think of like big design expos where you go and see suppliers, or like little meet and greets, all the tips will be quite practical. So I think if you are not based in the UK and you have no intention to ever go to Clerkenwell Design Week, that is fine. But if you want to know how to make the most of like this whole exhibition going experience, then this video is for you. And just to start off, I'm gonna slide in a little intro about Clerkenwell Design Week so you know we are all on the same page. So basically Clerkenwell is like a district, like an area in London, which happens to have loads of interior design showrooms. Loads of suppliers apparently live there. Who knew? So the whole event is obviously inspired by the name of this area, and what it basically is a whole array of events, exhibitions, pop-ups, installations, talks, parties, showroom openings, collection launches that just happens over these 3 days. Exhibitions are open for most of the days, showrooms open for most of the days, talks kind of vary from day to day. So basically it's like a nice little industry gathering, get together. You can use this opportunity to catch up with suppliers or with your friends maybe from all over the country, anything like that. It's very much of a networking, entertainment, educational event. So if you were to ask me what my top tips and suggestions are when you are attending this kind of event, this would be it. And starting with the first, which is, why are you attending? Like honestly, as simple as that. I don't know about you guys, but for me everything starts with why. Everything in my life revolves around my why, because that is my drive, that is my reasoning behind everything that I do. So when I'm feeling a bit confused or I'm feeling like something's not working, I'm always going back to my why. And as trivial as it sounds, but honestly, like, why are you attending this event? Because it can get quite busy and hectic out there. Let me tell you, you're going to be distracted, you're going to get tired, you're going to get one too many glasses of Prosecco, guilty, and you will end up leaving the event quite disappointed because you got distracted, you didn't get out of it as much as you wanted to. So before you go, just have a little think about, why am I going? What do I want to do? Is it for entertainment? Is it for education? Is it to find new suppliers and new connections? Is it to network? Is it to really find some good industry insights? Or is it just exploring and having a day out? And it could be a mix of all sorts of things. I would suggest to have probably a mix of 2 or maybe 3 things, just because again it is going to be a lot. So for example, for me, Clerkenwell was all about discovery. I was soaking it all on. I was a full-on sponge, taking in all the ideas, new trends, the exhibitions, and just all the quirky stuff that you don't get to see maybe on your Pinterest or, you know, on your day-to-day kind of inspiration seeking. And it was also about content creation. So obviously here we are, you can see one of the fruits of this journey is this video, and I also made loads of reels and talked on my stories about it. For me, it really was documenting that experience and making sure that I had something that I could take and kind of pass on to you guys, to my followers and my subscribers. So really just sharing the experience with the wider audience. So for me, it wasn't really about finding new suppliers or connecting to new suppliers and reps anywhere else. It was really just, oh, that's cool, oh, I want to go and see that, and that looks really fun. Really about just exploration and discovery. And I also bumped into a few friends, and I had a Moulin Rouge show planned for the evening, so it was like a mix of discovery, entertainment, and I guess a bit educational as well. The next thing worth mentioning is do your research. I know we don't have the luxury of time to sit in and sifting through all the information, but at least do the minimal, just the bare minimum. Just have a look through, make some notes of things that you want to see, of things that might interest you, maybe even, you know, click on some links and see what the artist or the website or the company is about. Because if you don't know the area or you've never been to like this expo before, it is going to be very overwhelming. So at least when you do a little bit of research, then you have an understanding what's going on and what you need to look out for. Next tip that I can give you is to plan your day/days depending on whether you are staying over or not. I know this might sound a little bit over the top, but let me tell you once again, the clearer your vision is about what you want to get out of this experience, the better the experience is going to be. So if you can, just have a little think of what's gonna happen during the day. By now you've probably done your research, so you know that there are some talks you want to see, some exhibitions. There might be some activities going on in some of the showrooms, like they do some workshops and fun things like that. So you might want to go and see them. So make sure you start with that and just jot down the times and the days when those are happening, and then start to fill in with, okay, well, morning, this is the time that I need to leave the hotel by, or I need to be there by. Then I've got this slot, I will need to have lunch. Trust me, you want to eat as well, even though they do give you loads of little canapes and like nibbly bits, but you really want to make sure you put some time aside to kind of just sit down, relax, and take it all in and have a little reflection, or maybe update your Instagram stories. I'll talk about that later in the video. So you want to plan your day in a way that is going to be enjoyable, you know, so you're not going to be rushed off of your feet and you're constantly like trying to get to the next place. Really just take it all in your own time and make sure you focus on the things that you are there for. The way I planned my days was, the first day was more about the showrooms and kind of the little bits and bobs. I was popping in to see some talks, I was checking out some showrooms and kind of just taking it in that way. And then the next day was all about exhibitions. Specifically, I wanted to see two of them were lighting exhibitions. So there were loads of like lighting suppliers, independent suppliers, and it was in a really cool location. So one was in a nightclub and the other one was like in an old prison. So it was just very creative and funky, and like I was saying, it was all about content creation and it was all about discovery. So I needed those very visual moments to kind of fill my days. It ended up kind of mixing together anyways, because I think I went to see an exhibition on the first day, but it was like a quick walkthrough. It was like a furniture one that I wasn't really bothered about. First day was very much filled with showrooms, meeting up for friends, and just checking out like art installations and kind of those little pop-up events. The next section is going to be all about what to wear. And I know that some of you might think like, hold on a minute, I know what I need to wear. You don't need to remind me, but some very simple things like these can be overlooked. And if you don't wear the appropriate attire, then your experience and your time there will gonna be ruined. Simple as that. So let's just get through the list that I've prepared for you and take some notes and make the right decisions when you go and visit these shows, okay? First up, comfortable shoes. They can be trendy, they can be something fun, but you really really want to have comfortable shoes, because no matter what the exhibition is like, if it's Clerkenwell or is it a big expo, you will be walking around all day. I know there's going to be a lot of furniture to sit around on, but most of the day you will spend up on your feet. So don't be silly and just wear some comfortable shoes. Next thing is layers in your clothing. So I'm thinking like a t-shirt, a lightweight jacket, maybe a scarf. So if it's cold or if it's windy, breezy, or even raining, you can kind of cover yourself up. But once the sun comes out and it's all nice and sunny, then you can easily just take that off, fold it, and put it in your bag. I don't know wherever you are in the world and where you're going to be going to these shows. Maybe you can trust the weatherman there, but in the UK you cannot trust the weatherman. So I was prepared for like a nice plus 18 to 20 degrees, you know, no rain, no fuss, no nothing. So I dressed accordingly. Now, what actually happened? Wind was blowing, I was rushing up and down the street. So 1 minute I'm full on sweating because I'm rushing to the talks. I wanted to make it to the talks. Then the next minute I'm freezing because I'm sitting outside and it's cold and it's windy, and suddenly the heavens open and it's all raining. So you kind of want to be prepared for that as well. And lightweight and something that's easy to fold away and just put it in your bag, so you don't need to worry about that. Speaking of bags, next one is wear a bag that doesn't feel like it's on you. So whether a crossbody bag or like a backpack style, just something that keeps your hands free, because you're going to need your hands for bubbles and taking content. Okay, top tip, a good one, and I think is missed a lot of times, especially for women, is pockets. Wear something with pockets, whether it's a jacket with pockets or pants or skirt with pockets, a dress with pockets, anything. For the same reason really, to have your hands free. People will be giving you business cards, you will have your phone in and out all the time. Pockets, have pockets. And this is for my long haired beauties out there. I know you don't plan to wear your hair up, but bring a bobble. It's going to be a lifesaver. During Clerkenwell, the heavens opened, rain was coming down, wind was blowing everywhere, and I was just an absolute mess. And I didn't bring a bobble, so I wish I had one somewhere in my pocket. It got to a point where I just did not care how I looked like. I just wanted to enjoy the day. Next up, we have travel and accommodation. So whether it's a hotel or Airbnb, whatever. How do you make those arrangements and what you should think about when booking anything? So first tip would definitely book in advance. You usually know the dates for these shows a year advance. Even now the dates for next year have been announced. So what this means, you will get the best deals in the best locations. Once it starts to come closer to the date, the best location and the best deals go. So maybe the best locations stay, but they are a lot more expensive than they would be normally, because they are not stupid. Business owners are not stupid, so they ramp up the cost. For like your usual mid-range hotel, you will be paying a lot more than you would normally. So book in advance your hotels and decide whether you want to travel or not on the day. I didn't want to travel. I wanted everything to be walking distance, so that kind of narrowed down my selection as well. And I booked 2 months in advance, I think, and I was still struggling to get a good deal. And actually, another tip, just a general, if you can book straight with the hotel, don't use a third party. So I booked my hotel through booking.com, and once I got to the hotel, there were a lot of issues with my room and it wasn't really the greatest experience for the money that I paid, but they couldn't refund me because I've booked through the third party. So all the rules and conditions are a lot more complicated and it's not such a straightforward process. So if you can, just book straight on with the hotel, not a third party. I touched a little bit about traveling. Obviously in London you got the tube, you got public transport, and I said that I didn't really want to travel, but I had to travel down to London. I'm based up in Manchester, so it's about 2-hour train journey. So I had to book my train, so book that in advance as well. And a top tip there is, for your return journey, book an open ticket, because you never know what the day is going to go like. I actually felt like super tired and drained towards the end of the second day, and I had booked a fixed ticket for the evening, so it was quite late, and I wished I had an open return ticket so I could just jump on an earlier train and get home and be done with the day, but I had to kind of stick around, which meant spending more money, spending more time out and about. So book an open return ticket. Actually, one more thing about hotels. So if I'm reflecting on my whole experience, maybe I should have even gotten something a lot more simple, because you do end up spending the whole day out and about. The only time you come back to the hotel is to go for a shower and just sleep during the night. And if you are not too bothered about the quality of the breakfast, you could easily just get away with something very much like mid-range or standard and just don't spend the money there. I think that's what I would do the next time I visit as well. Okay, 2 more things and I will let you go, I promise. So next thing I want to talk about is your content strategy. So like I said, creating content was one of my top priorities for this event, and I actually have a training course coming out soon that will be specially tailored for interior designers. So if anything that we discuss on this point, it kind of resonates to you and you want to learn more, then make sure you are following me on Instagram, and eventually check back the description box below underneath this video. You will have a link where you can sign up. So let's have a look at what you should think about when creating content for your social media during these events. So think about the way you are going to be using this content. What platforms will it be for? Is it just Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Is it TikTok? Is it for your website? Is it for a blog post? So depending on the social media platform where you're going to post this content, you need to think about how you need to capture this content. So if it's for reels or stories or TikTok, you need to think like vertical, versus if it's for a blog post or if it's for LinkedIn, you might want to focus more on a landscape content. If you are creating content for reels, then make sure you think about some quirky and interesting transitions between the videos. Clean your lens. Honestly, the most simple thing and the most plain simple advice, but please clean your lenses. Another thing worth mentioning is that you don't need to update everything real time. Another thing to mention is that you don't need to update everything in real time. So if you are going about your day, you don't need to take the content and straight away post it on Instagram or on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. You can always just take some snaps, and then on your next break, like we talked about when you plan your day, just quickly put some of the highlights up in your stories. This way you are still engaging with your social media following, but at the same time you are not kind of being a slave to the social media platforms, if that makes sense. A very good tool and something that's been overlooked is going live. So you can go live on LinkedIn and you can go live on Instagram as well as TikTok and Facebook. So there are these features where you can just press a button and just improvise. Don't even need to show your face. You can just kind of show around what you're doing, where you're going. Maybe if you're with the team, just get a little snap of your team members there, just to really connect to that next level with your followers. Maybe someone is just sitting at home and they unfortunately missed out on the event. So for them to have a little ping on their social media to see that you are there and to see the event through your lens, through your eyes, is like that next step towards your connection with your followers. And you can always save your live video so that can go on your feed. You can download it later and repurpose it for reels and for other types of content. So just make use of this live feature. And for a good measure, just throw in some selfies or ask someone to take a photo of you lounging in the seat. Just add your personality to it. Sometimes when you look through all of this content and you don't actually see the person behind the lens, it gets really unpersonal. And all social media is about is really putting your brand, your personality, or your company out there right next to that design content, so your followers see that connection, that there is a person behind the design. So remember, if you liked what we talked about, then the social media training will be launched very soon. Currently, it's called Think Like a Creator. I feel like I'm going to stick with it. So just make sure you check back later and follow me on Instagram for any updates if you want to sign up for this training. Okay, so one last thing, and it really is the message that I've been trying to kind of deliver throughout all of these tips, is that this experience, these events are going to be what you will make of it. Because if you ask me, are these events blown out of proportion? Yes, most often they are. Will you miss out on certain things? Yes, you will. There's so much to see. You will absolutely miss out on loads of things. But like with everything in life, you have to find your own silver lining, and you have to enjoy the moment yourself. No one's going to be there to hold your hand and to tell you to enjoy the moment and to take it all in, because once it's gone and you're back to your desk and doing your usual day-to-day stuff and dealing with customers and suppliers and client calls and all sorts, that's going to be it. That's what you're going to be thinking back about. So do you want to make this experience enjoyable and kind of remember it with a smile on your face, or do you want to think like, oh yeah, the weather was rubbish, and oh, we didn't get to see that exhibition and that talk, it was just all so rushed? That's not how you want to spend your time, is it? So to wrap up this video, if you were to ask me what was Clerkenwell Design Week for you, this would be my review. I think it was a bit too much and not enough at the same time. The talks seemed to lack depth, but were informative enough to encourage me to dig a bit deeper on the topics. Showrooms were buzzing, but sometimes felt a bit cold if you didn't have any connections as you entered. Some exhibitions were honestly a waste of space, like honestly, but others were full of quirky and magical moments. Clerkenwell is what you make it. If you know what you're looking for, you will 100% find it. If you stumble upon it, I hope there is a welcoming face to greet you, but if you expect it to do the work for you, then you might as well not waste your time and stay at home. Boom, mic drop. I'm gonna leave it there. That is my review. That's how I feel about it. And if I go to another design event, networking event, anything like that, I will apply the same principles that I just talked about in this video, and will continue to have a great time. I loved it. I know I had some ups and downs there, and I went solo, and at some points I might have felt like it was a bit lonely, but then at some I was like, yes, I can just do whatever I want. I don't need to wait around for anyone. I don't need to ask anyone whether they are okay to move on to the next thing. I was just free as a bird. Absolutely love it. So if you want to go solo to any of these events, highly recommend. Okay guys, thanks for watching yet another video. I am absolutely loving creating the content, and I can see that there's a core audience that honestly shows up every week and watches every video, and my heart's just honestly overflowing. I am so passionate about all of this, about content creation and just sharing the journey of an interior designer. So thank you for being here. Hope this video was useful. As always, if you have a minute to stick around, then check out these videos. There's a playlist there and a video there. Come and say hello on Instagram, and like I said, if you want some training on social media specifically tailored for interior designers, then hit me up on DMs on Instagram. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.